Good morning, guys. I'm here as a travelling salesman, Adventures of a Travelling Salesman, video 3, and today we've been on a meeting to, I believe this is Kent in the UK, travelled from the Midlands, East Midlands, and normally I put the video on before I go to the meeting and explain what's going to happen, etc. But today, for some reason, my video wasn't working, so I'm just driving back from the meeting. It took 2.5 hours getting here today for the meeting. I left at 6:30 this morning on the 8th of March, and the meeting was with a current customer this time, not a new business customer. The customer hasn't been seen for some time. I took over this account from a previous account manager who pretty much neglected this account. They're not a massive revenue spend customer, but there's still potential. They still offer a solution on their website, which means there's still potential for us to sell our solution to them in order to facilitate their customers' needs. So in the UK, if you're not from the UK and you're watching this video, we've had severe weather warnings. I got down today from the East Midlands and it started snowing in Luton quite heavily. So now I'm heading back to the East Midlands. It's forecast for more snow. The clouds, the sky is full of snow. So hopefully I don't get stuck in any bad traffic coming down. There were some big delays coming down this morning, but I got to the meeting on time. I actually got to the meeting early. So as you guys remember from my previous videos, I always said when you're in the role of in field sales or you're a travelling salesperson, always set off a little bit early. I'd say half an hour early, just so you don't get stuck in any bad unexpected traffic or accidents or weather. So we're just on the A249, it looks like, coming out of Kent, going towards Dartford. First time I've been down here in all my times of being a travelling salesman, and it's okay. It'd probably be better on a nicer day, but we are still in the early part of spring, so we expect this weather. So from the meeting, guys, meeting went okay. Now I've understood more about the company and what they do, and not what they do, I already know what they do, but their business model and how they operate. I can't really see much coming from this customer in terms of future opportunities. They sell fundamentally into the European market through other distributors, so I can't really see a massive change in what they're spending with me at the moment. But there's a couple of training sessions I'm going to organise with this customer to get more up to speed with our solution, or with the solution they have already from us. And they seem really happy. They were surprised they've seen somebody. They have not seen somebody from my company in a long while. Which again, guys, you know, if you're a good salesperson or a rounded salesperson, you don't just look at new business, you don't just look at new opportunities, you've got to manage your current customer base as well. It's all about increasing your footprint within that customer and maximising their potential, not just pump and dump, you know, getting a new bit deal across the line and leave. I suppose that's more of a business development role, which I'm not really keen on. I'd like to manage and nurture my accounts. Apologies for my windscreen in my car. It's just gone. I'm putting the heaters on. Temperatures dropped massively. There we go. Apologies for my windscreen wipers as well. The rain is coming down pretty heavy now, so we're just getting some bad weather. So with a customer like today, I tend to categorize my customers A, B and C level, and this is just something I do personally. You know, you guys will probably have your own system or your own way of managing your customer accounts, but category A being high revenue spend, you know, your top tier customer, opportunity, greater opportunities. Then your B customer is your mid-level, then, you know, speak to them regular, but opportunities are probably a lot more infrequent. And then you've got your C-level customers who may just buy once or twice a year from you. Small entities normally. And with me categorising A, B and C, I normally would then manage how much activity I do with each customer. So with a category A customer, I'll probably call them a couple of times a week. We will do reviews probably monthly. A category B customer will be contact every couple of weeks, email or phone, probably quarterly to 6 monthly reviews. And a category C customer would be probably just a couple of emails every now and again in a year, and probably realistically a review annually instead. And it's just best to do it this way because you have to admit that, you know, there's some customers who won't or can't spend any more than they already have spent with you, so you need to position them appropriately in the time that you spend with them as an account manager or a sales manager or whatever. So that's my tip. Try to categorize your customers in A, B or C or 1, 2, 3 or whatever you'd like to do. And it really helps you manage your time better. And don't forget as well, as some of the category A customers, the opportunities might be really complicated, so they would need more time. That's my tip for today, is to manage your customer base appropriately. I use social media a lot, LinkedIn for instance, to communicate with some customers, and also as well it's a great tool for networking, striking up some opportunities, and monitor your competition. Anybody out there who has LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever, follow or connect with your competition, because they'll tell you a lot more than you know about what's going on within their business watched my videos before, you'll understand my big bugbearer on the UK roads is constant roadworks and never anybody doing any work. As you can see, the snow has been falling. I don't know what it is in the UK. We cannot cope with any eventuality when it comes to weather. If it's too hot, our roads are melting because of the tar, or we get weather warnings because we have hosepipe bans or whatever. But in the winter, even with this amount of snow, which is very, very little compared to some countries like Scandinavia, we cannot cope. Feel free to comment if you've had any experiences of this, or you're frustrated as well, because it cannot just be me who've observed that in the UK. I think we'd all just become woke crybabies. Don't forget as well, guys, to subscribe to my channel. I'm very new at doing this, but I just wanted to share. I wanted to share with you, what us salespeople do on a daily basis. I know with sales is sales and boring to many people, but in fact, there's so many of us out there on the roads. I'll be driving every day to work or to a meeting, and I'll look to my left or my right and see other salespeople doing the same thing in their company cars, trying to get a sale or trying to resolve a problem with a customer. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to just give something back to salespeople. We have a hard time. We deal with a lot of shit. We deal with a lot of pressure. Sometimes it can affect you, your well-being or your mindset. When COVID hit a few years ago, luckily, in my sales team there was 5 people, and only 2 people stayed on, myself and my other colleague. The other people were furloughed. We kept the business going. Very difficult times. It's very sad, but we managed to still do well business-wise. But I love driving to customers. I love driving to meetings. I cannot think of anything worse than being stuck in an office, just watching the clock go down, watching the time to go to lunch. Big up to office salespeople as well. I feel your pain. So we're now on the M2, going towards Gillingham, and I should take about 2.5 hours to get back to the Midlands, providing the weather doesn't get any worse or traffic jams or whatever. So today, my choice of music going to my meeting today was some of the old classics. Rage Against the Machine was on my car first thing this morning. I needed a bit of extra motivation. I needed a bit of extra energy. But that was my choice of tunes this morning. Normally I like listening to classic music, but I needed a bit more kick up the arse today. I think I'm showing my age now with using that as my choice of music today. Next week I have a real busy schedule. So this week now, probably going to do a lot of remote calls this week, where I can avoid travelling. The weather's getting bad. Coming to the end of the first quarter, so I need to see my numbers, check my numbers, review my pipeline, look at my forecast for next quarter. I have to confess, last week I become addicted to watching this YouTube trial, or this criminal trial in America, in South Carolina, with this lawyer who was accused of killing his wife and his son. So I was listening to that a lot last week whilst I was travelling between meetings, and obviously he's been found guilty, serving life sentences. What did you guys think? Did you watch it? Did you think that Murdoch was guilty or not guilty, or whatever? I thought, from what I heard, he was guilty. There's too many lies, too many coincidences, and by the sounds of it, he wasn't a nice person. He sounds like he was involved in a lot of issues, a lot of problems. I mean, a lawyer probably taking home a lot of money, and he was financially struggling because he had a lot of debt from drug abuse. Unbelievable. You think how we have to work as salespeople to try and get some good money to pay bills and everything else. This guy was probably earning over 100 grand a year, maybe 200 grand salary, and he was found guilty of killing his son and his wife. Unbelievable. Apologies for my camera maybe moving. It's because this road is terrible and there's bumps everywhere, and my phone holder is doing its best to stay still. Still looks pretty grim outside. For those people who are not from the UK, all these trees and these bushes, they'll start going green in the next couple of months while spring starts coming out strong, and these motorways will look a bit more colourful, because at the moment they're so dull. Boring. Heading towards the M25, which is the worst road, I believe, in the UK. It's the ring road around London, and it has about 5 major freeway or motorways connecting to it, which caused it to be so busy all the time. quality video today. This weather's really tricky. Just to point out, with my car I drive on my meetings, when you start deviating out of the lane, it pushes you back in the lane. So really good to have in these conditions, because this weather is really bad today. The wind's pushing me across the lanes. The steering wheel pushes me back in. That is an Audi, by the way. It's like a steering correction. Best car to drive as a travelling salesman is the Audi, by far. I've driven many cars, but my preference is always an Audi. When I first started with this job, and I was on trial or probation, I was given a Vauxhall to drive. Absolutely hated it, and literally no comforts. There was no gadgets. It was just really basic. But after my probation, I bought a new car. They bought me a new car, or sorry, I leased a new car. I chose an Audi because it's a hybrid, and it's just so comfortable. It makes driving to meetings, especially long distance, a lot nicer. I'll stop this video before I go for lunch today, but I'm going to be going to lunch around about midday. Sorry, around about 1 o'clock I'll have lunch. I tried to mix up my food. When you're travelling, you want to try and restrict going to service stations or shops that buy junk food. It's so easily done, and then you end up putting weight on, whereas I'm very much into my bodybuilding, training, so I have to watch where I eat. I'll have a lunch already made before I go on the road. It could vary between eggs, rice, chicken, some tuna or fish, plenty of water. I always keep some spare food as well, because if I get stuck or broke down, or I have to go to a hotel because the weather's bad, I've always got some food ready. And to keep hydrated. One of the occupational hazards of a travelling salesperson is the frequency you go to service stations to get petrol or diesel or gas or electric, and then you end up spending money on crap you don't need. You see a lot of lorry drivers doing the same thing. I guess these guys are travelling, but they're not travelling salespeople, they're just travelling freight guys or the delivery guys, effectively. So when you come this part of the UK, there's a crossing called the Dartford Crossing, which is a pay bridge. You have to go online and register you've travelled across there. Otherwise, if I don't pay online, then my company will get a bill or fine saying that my company car has been seen in the area over the bridge, and then they issue me a fine. Whereas when I go home, I go online and pay for it, and I claim the money back from my company. So another part of being a travelling salesperson is your expenses. I have a fuel card, so all I have to do is when I stop for fuel is put the registration number in, mileage, and then that records my usage of fuel. But if I buy lunch, then I just keep the receipts. Always keep your receipts. If you lose your receipt, you do not get paid that money back, which I think is fair. I go through a lot of tolls or again bridge crossings, which you have to pay for. Again, you just get your receipts and claim it all back. My company have never really sorry, I'll start again. My company have always been good in paying the expenses back. I think it's important that you monitor your expenses and whenever you can try to minimise spend. I'm not one trying to buy exotic lunches or meals. I'll just buy if I have to buy a lunch, then I'll buy a meal deal. But like I said, I tend to make my meals before I get in the car. Being a UK account manager, we tend to just go to random places. Some of my customers are based literally in the middle of nowhere, whereas one or two customers could be in the middle of the city. I much prefer going to customers who are rural or remote, because parking's a lot easier. Sometimes I will have to take the train to go to London. I won't drive to London itself. It's easy to get a train or drive to Market Harborough, which is closest to me. Leave my car at Market Harborough and get the train which comes from Leicester to London. It gets to London within about an hour and 20 minutes, and then I can see my customers in London without having to worry about driving in and out. And worrying about congestion zone charges. I think I would find it very difficult if I had to drive into London regular, because it's chaos. Imagine all those delivery vans going in London every day to deliver stock or inventory or parcels or whatever. It would drive you nuts. It would drive me nuts. Back in my early days of me travelling sales, I used to take my dog with me in the car. My puppy, she was a puppy at the time, and I'd go to meetings and she'd come with me all day. And some customers, believe it or not, I'm not promoting this idea or suggesting that you do this. But some customer meetings I went to, my dog would come with me in the meeting. Some customers absolutely loved her, and she'd spend the day on the road with me. If I saw various customers, she she'd be happily sitting next to me in the car, in a bed, listening to my music. But now, she's older now, so she stays home. One of the bad things about this weather is you miss signs to turn off because you can't really see them. So we're now coming onto the M25 North. Hopefully it won't be too bad at this time of day. It's 12 o'clock and hopefully it'll be relatively clear unless there's some idiot to that accident. this is a very long tunnel. It's on the way I went over the bridge, but now I'm going through the tunnel, so I've never been through this tunnel before. It's pretty long. So now we're in the county of Essex. A programme Towie was filmed this way, or around here. Never seen it in my life, but weather's really bad now. It seems to have gone from snow to this shitty rain. Causing real poor visibility. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, to my my channel. The more momentum I get in terms of views or visitors, then I'll start posting other stuff on. Very interesting stuff. I'll probably do smaller clips as well moving forward. Tell me what you'd like to see from the channel. Tell me what would be of interest. Look at this dick behind me going fast in the van. This is what pisses me off. Fucking delivery drivers. Excuse my language. But yeah, let me know what you guys want me to add, or anything particular, or places you may want to see that I might have meetings in the next couple of weeks, months. Yeah, just share it, guys. Put some comments in as well, because like I said before, I'm new to this. This is very new to me, and I just want to give back and share with what we go through every day as salespeople. You don't have to be a salesperson. You can just be a driver on the roads all day, a train plater or a lorry driver. Yeah, I want to put more content out there, so you guys give me some feedback, and I'll adjust my content, or I'll add other things, or reduce certain things, or whatever. They're fun doing them. It's very easy to do this, and if anything, you get to see, albeit motorways, all around the UK and Ireland, because I will be in Ireland next month in April. After Easter, I'll be visiting Ireland, so I'll get a hire car and I'll show you parts of Ireland. Pretty much this week now, we're on Wednesday, my week has pretty much been flat out. I tend to try to wind down towards the Friday so I can get all my admin done, all my internal activity done, and especially on Fridays a lot of companies tend to have reduced working hours or their downtime as well, so I don't really, unless a customer requests to see me on a Friday, then I'll use that as my admin day, my main admin day. Just tidy up the week and then look at what's on next week. And my calendar's normally done 2 to 3 weeks in advance, but there are some times where you have to make adjustments or last minute changes. So I do them on a Friday. I just confirm all my meetings for the next week is still go ahead. I've got some training, internal training sessions next week to go on as well. But yeah, pretty much it's getting busier and busier now, which is a good thing. And you know, you guys in sales, you know, it's always best to be busy than to be bored, or not bored, but quiet and worrying about where your next opportunity is going to come from, which is unfortunately an occupational hazard with sales. I think, especially how sporadic, erratic the economy is, but also a lot of companies, they still have this worry about recessions and saving their budgets until towards the end in Q3 and 4. It's no different to whatever you work when it comes down to sales, because if a company budgets for a solution, but there's something unexpected comes up, and sometimes that budget is used for that priority. And you know, as a salesperson, you've just got to not take it personally and move on to the next. I think, as I mentioned in my first video, you don't have to. This thing about being a great salesman, being the best salesman ever and top salesperson, this, that and the other, it's not a rocket science job. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to do this job. It takes a people person to do this job. And 90% of this is built on a relationship. Sorry, your sales are built on a relationship. If you don't have a relationship with your customer, I can guarantee you a competitor of yours is in there. So my advice on that one would be, just make sure that you are regularly keeping in contact with your customers regularly, because there's a lot of pressure on sales, because if the sales are not there in the business, then you know, other staff may not have jobs. That's as simple as it goes. Every job I've worked in where there's been a recession or there's been some crisis going on, the salespeople are normally the last people to go. to bring sales in, right? And I look at it as a big pressure that I have to keep these people in jobs, which I accept. Obviously there's other factors involved, you know, but when you think of it, if you're not selling your product and that income's not coming in, then it's not good. I rely a lot on my internal team, my administrators, my customer service teams, my support team. I mean, without them, I can't do my job, and that's fundamental. But the buck stops with sales. Always has, and it always will. Hope I've not scared anybody who are looking to start a career in sales. It can be a very, very rewarding, both financially and achievement-wise, but it is a lot of pressure. That's why I see a lot of salesmen who are bald. I'm joking. I think it's Happy International Women's Day. Is that right today? I saw something on I heard something on the radio. It's International Women's Day. So big up to all the women. My wife, my mum, my sister-in-laws, mother-in-law. I'm not sure if they have International Man Day. But it seems like every week there's another day to celebrate, or another special occasion to celebrate. I've lost the plot. So just in terms of like how my day normally works with meetings now, obviously when I'm in meetings I take notes. I have a notepad with me. I take quite thorough notes, and if I get back within a reasonable time back to my home or back to work, I'll then input my notes from the meeting onto the system, onto the CRM, to log my activity. And I think it's very important that salespeople have real thorough notes from meetings on a CRM or whatever platform you guys use in your company, because it amazes me how salespeople could say, well, I went into a meeting, it's all in my head, I remember everything, and I can move forward with that. Well, I don't agree with that. I think that is bullshit. There's no way, if you've got 2 or 3 meetings in the same day, and all you've done is try to remember what your meetings have consisted of, there's no person, unless you've got like the best brain ever, to remember everything we've said. Now, obviously some of it will be shit you won't need to remember, or it'll just be stories from what you done on the weekend or whatever. But you need to document it, and you need to look at this idiot in front of me. What a fucking idiot. Again, rushing in this weather. What an absolute clown. Sorry. go back to what I was saying. So yeah, you take notes, and when you get back to your accounts on your CRM, then just put your notes in there. Imagine if a customer called up and I wasn't available, and my manager went into the account and the customer was discussing what we discussed in our meeting, and there's no evidence of that there, then my manager has no clue or no idea how to react to that customer because the notes are not on the system. A lot of salespeople, in my experience, are very tribal with their accounts, with their information. I mean, I don't get it. It don't make sense to me. Scared of maybe somebody else finding out opportunity on those notes or whatever. I mean, if you're doing your job properly, you shouldn't be scared. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, make sure you take good notes in meetings and record them as quick as you can or as soon as you can on the database or the CRM or platform you use. I take my laptop into meetings sometimes when the customer wants to look at a solution more in depth, or they want to look at other data sheets or whatever. Then I use my laptop. That's acceptable these days. I mean, gone are the days where you put your laptop on and you wait 20 minutes for it to warm up and to get ready. A lot of customers are perfectly happy with you to take notes. Maybe you can even take notes whilst the meeting's going ahead. I prefer not to take notes and type them in. I prefer to listen and then take notes accordingly. Not sit there, looking at my screen typing away. I don't find that as a good thing, but some people can do that. Some people are happy with that. Don't have iPads or tablets to do it. I still have a laptop, so that's fine. Also, make sure your phone is either turned off or on silent. In my meeting today, one of the customers forgot he didn't have his phone on silent and it was ringing and he was very embarrassed. I mean, there was no problem from my point of view, but if that's you and you're there with your customer and it goes off, then I think that would look very unprofessional. Make sure your out of office is on your emails as well, because if you're travelling between meetings, then you want to make sure you communicate that with your customers or people emailing to you asking for assistance. They know you're unavailable because you're in meetings. Very, very simple thing to do. Just access the settings in your Outlook and activate the out of office function with a message on there. Don't just activate out of office. Make sure you put a message in there. It's always professional. So I've got about another hour and 30 minutes drive back up to the Midlands, and I just wanted to share with you today my meeting in Kent, Queensborough. I think it was Queensborough, the area. Isle of Sheppey, I think it's called. The meeting lasted about 2 hours, and yeah, outcomes is carry on doing what we're doing at the moment. Contact the customer every couple of weeks on an email just to see how they are, any issues. It's a low value account, so it's category C customer. I need to schedule a couple of training sessions for this customer with my training manager over the next few weeks, and yeah, just keep it going as it is. No opportunities are present, but I've now their business and understood how they work. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, today. Again, hit the like button or subscribe, and I'll send more content out there the more traction I get. And stay tuned in for my next visit, my next sales trip. Speak soon. Bye.